Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about HECS. Most people have heard about HECS, but they don't really know what it is. So HECS stands for Higher Education Contribution Scheme. The full name of the HECS loan is HECS-HELP. So it's Higher Education Contribution Scheme Higher Education Loan Program. That's the full acronym. HECS is just one kind of government loan. There are other kinds of government loans for other kinds of study. If you're going to university for the first time, probably you're going to use HECS. What makes you eligible for HECS? So you need to be in a Commonwealth Supported Place, firstly. And that means you're in a course where the government is paying part of your fees for you. Most undergraduate university courses, so bachelor degrees or associate degrees, at publicly funded universities like the University of Queensland, Monash, JCU, ANU, ACU, most of those courses will have Commonwealth Supported Places. Courses at private providers like Bond University, ACAP, Torrens University and similar won't have Commonwealth Supported Places, and that will impact on the price that you're paying for those degrees. So firstly, you need to be in a Commonwealth Supported Place. You also need to be an Australian citizen and meet residency requirements, or a New Zealand citizen who's on a special category visa and meet residency requirements, or be on a permanent humanitarian visa and meet residency requirements in order to get HECS. You also need to be enrolled in the subjects that you're doing in a study period by the census date, which is a specific time in your study period. Usually it's about a third of the way in. That's the date you need to be enrolled by. You also need to have submitted your HECS-HELP form to your study provider by that date in order to get HECS. I'll put links in the description to all this information so that you can go and double check for yourself and see how it all works. Okay, so you need to be in a Commonwealth Supported Place. You need to have met the citizenship and residency requirements. You need to have enrolled in your subjects before census date, and you need to have supplied the HECS-HELP form to your study provider by census date. A final thing that you need in order to use HECS is to not have maxed out your HELP loan. So HECS is a part of a wider loan scheme, as I've already said. And if you've used other kinds of HELP loans in the past, like vet fee, HELP, vet student loans, fee HELP, OS HELP, SA HELP, things like this, you may have used some of your available loan. So everyone who's eligible to use HELP has a maximum amount of money they can borrow from the government. And in 2021, that maximum amount was $108,000 approximately, or $155,000 if you were studying something like medicine, dentistry, veterinary science, or an approved aviation course. So the final thing that you need in order to use HECS is available amounts of money on your loan. I'll make some more videos about other kinds of HELP loans, and I have made a kind of overarching costs of university and further study video which touches on some of the other HELP loans as well, if you want to check those out. So you've gotten to an approved course, you've met the other requirements for getting HECS, and you have to submit your form. So what do you actually need to submit your form? You need your tax file number. All you need is something that says that you've applied for a tax file number. You would need a USI. A USI is a unique student identifier. It takes about 5 minutes to create one if you haven't got one already. And if you're studying at university, they're going to ask for it anyway. So you need to get one of those. You just need a couple of proof of ID documents, and I'll put the link in the description so that you can go and find that site and apply if you need to. You also need to have the form. Usually your university or other study provider will do the form online, and they'll email you about it, and it'll be somewhere in your online student account. So it's usually not that hard to find, and it's in the university's best interest to give you that form so that you can make sure that you've got your loan sorted out by census date and the university gets their funding from the government. It's a really fast form to do. You basically just put in your personal details, put in your USI and your tax file number and hit submit. I'll see if I can find a screenshot of what it looks like from a university in Australia, just so you can see how simple it is to do. A lot of the time people wonder, is there a loan fee for HECS? The answer is no, there's not. Your HELP balance will be indexed to CPI each year. So that means it might go up a small amount. I'll put a link about what this sort of means in the description. Really, they're just trying to use the indexing to keep the value of your loan the same. There's also something called the HECS-HELP upfront discount, and this is something that you may have heard about before. It used to exist, it disappeared for a little bit, and then it's come back again. Basically, if you make a payment of $500 or more towards your course fees in a semester or a study period, sometimes it's trimester, depends on the uni. If you make an upfront payment of $500 or more, you can get a 10% discount on that payment. So if you were to pay your whole semester's or study period's course fees upfront, you would get a 10% discount on the entire amount. If you're only paying $500, then $50 will be taken off your remaining amount that's put on your HECS-HELP loan. So basically, if you can afford to pay some of your course fees up front, you might do that because you'll get a discount on the course fees, and that can make a difference long term. If you're applying for a Commonwealth Supported Place and you're trying to sort out your loans and course fees and things like that, you might also be interested in knowing more about SSAF. SSAF is another kind of help loan that you can use to defer the payment of SSAF, which is the Student Services and Amenities Fee. SSAF is usually around $350 a year for a full-time student, so it's not nearly as much money per year as course fees. So some people will just choose to pay SSAF upfront and put their course fees on HECS. But if you wanted to defer the cost of SSAF as well, you submit a different form called SSAF. And usually you get information about this at the same time as you get information about HECS, because the forms are really similar and you can do them usually in the same place on your online student account at your university or study provider. It's really good to be informed about how the different loan schemes work. I'll put some more links in the description. I'll put links to the article I wrote about comparing different kinds of loan schemes from the government. And Study Assist is a huge, fantastic resource for looking up stuff about financial help when you're doing further study. They have lots of information about how HECS works. They also have information about all the other kind of help loans, and it's a government-run site and can make a big difference if you're trying to be well-informed about your options. If you found this video helpful, you might want to like it. If you'd like to see similar videos about careers and further study and making informed choices, you might want to subscribe. Okay, hope you have a lovely day.